Welcome to the Electric Theatre.
Hi.
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Where are you living these days?
I'm in Orange County.
Right. Have you lived out there a long time?
I've been in Orange County for like 25 years.
Right. That's first album?
First album, I was actually we were all living in Huntington Beach then.
Okay. So you guys all
we-
just drive up to Malibu to make the first album?
Oh man, we stayed up there. It was in that little wood cottage or whatever. That was bad. They're lucky I was on my terrible twos. Yeah, that place sucked.
I remember. I got a cool story for you. I remember being at Indigo, and I would sit there and I would stare at this drawn platinum album that you guys drew on to give to Richard, and it was on a white circle. It was on a white circle, and it said, our platinum album, and it was you guys making something for the future, foreseeing the future, knowing your place.
I remember that.
Knowing your place.
I remember
in
that.
the solar system. So it was like a month or two went by, and finally I went down to Ralph's. We'd go down to Ralph's with our like $5 a day per diem that Ross would give us. Not the label didn't even give us money. Ross would give us money out of his own pocket. And I was down at Ralph's, and I would always buy one pizza and like a 2-liter of pop, and that'd get me through the night. And I came back and I was cooking a pizza, and I realized that the pizza board was the same circle that was inside, that was made up to be that platinum plaque.
Yep, because we got the same per diem as you guys.
Yeah, and it just blew me away because I was like, "Whoa, fucking!"
So me and you were eating the same pizza back. We were eating the same pizza.
No, it's exactly right. It always was a good place in my heart. Like it kept me humble. I was like, yes, like Korn went through it. We're going through it. Things are going to work out. But it was a very humbling experience. And it also was very spiritual to like feel that, like I'm making the trip down the mountain, getting sick every time those twists and turns. Cause we would drive, we would drive as fast as we could. Some of us, we had a pickup, so we would lay on our backs and stare at the stars while somebody would just ride recklessly down the hill. And we would just lay on our backs in the back of the pickup, go down, buy some pizzas and some pop, and come back and try to make God music, So I always thought that was always one of my favorite things, man, staring at that plaque, the dream, foreseeing the dream before it happens.
Yeah, that's funny. That's a funny story, man, because you realizing it came from a pizza box.
Yeah, that was it. I was like, we would stare at it. I'd be like, how cool is this, man? These guys knew. They believed in their stuff like we do, like we always believed in ourselves. I'm like, how cool is this that they're like putting up plaques that they make without plaques that other people make? I'm like, this is awesome. But the idea that it came from $1 pizza is what made it special,
Yeah. That's funny, man.
A lot of kids don't know the sacrifice. The dream is big. Well, for instance, that chateau, you stayed in that little building that they called the chateau, and I know, there's 9 of us. So when we rolled up, I remember I'm an only child, so I had to tell myself like, okay, clown, let everyone pick where they want to sleep. And I'll pick last because I'll go fucking nuts if someone takes where I want to sleep. So I'll just take what's left. So like most of the guys were like, "Oh, we're staying in the chateau. We're staying in the chateau." Like, so there were 3 guys upstairs and 2 guys downstairs, and in the chateau because it had 2 levels, if you remember, right? So
Yeah.
then the rest of us had to sprawl out in the studio. So like Joey and Corey, they lived in the little lounge room on the couches where the only TV was. They slept on couches. Paul, he had the worst spot because he chose the live room. He'd sleep on the floor in front of the drums. And Ross would sneak in every morning and just crank music at the highest level of volume and just send Paul through the roof from sleeping. It was so funny. And I slept in an ISO booth that Jonathan sang in that was full of gear, and I ended up cleaning it all out and blocking out the windows because Ross wasn't using that room anymore. And I was told that Jonathan did some stuff in there, and I had complete blackout for the entire 3.5, 4 months we were there. I had perfect sleep, whereas the guys in the chateau, they were getting zapped by the heat by 9:45 in the morning. I mean, they were so hot and baked.
Oh, yeah.
Like magnified.
I remember that.
So, I mean, it was pure insanity to record up there, but beautiful and pure, you know, at the same time.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, you're right. That's exact words.
It was
crazy.
tough, but you couldn't complain looking at the Pacific coast, or looking at the Pacific Ocean out in the great blue up on that hill. So
yeah,
pretty blessed coming from Iowa, making that road trip and then driving all the way up to that insane place on Barrymore Drive, Drew Barrymore's grandpa's house and little road. Pretty trippy for us being from Des Moines, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, for us too.
So I apologize about all the just trying to get connected. The powers to be make it tough on me. But anyway, tell me about what's going on, man. You're doing some music again, outside of what you normally do. And I like this, I've made a personal path to be able to explain to fans why people like ourselves feel compelled to create beyond what maybe the system knows us best for. There's nothing wrong being known for something that is big, but it does get confused when people like ourselves want to go out and be creative on our own. So tell me a little bit about what you're doing right now.
You're right. It's people just see the system and they think, how can, we're just all creative. Basically, that's how I see myself too. And you do something and it confuses everybody. And it's like, so we're nonstop having to drop videos saying, we just dropped one the other day just telling people, hey, the 3 of us saying StillWell, I'm still in KORN. Well, I'm still in POD. Q's still in Q Unique and King's Bounty. Right? So explaining it, going, and then giving a shout out to our brothers and all that, saying, hey, because people are like, are you in KORN anymore? It's like, yeah, but on downtime, I still like to be creative and do things. And, but instead of explaining that to these fans, we just kind of just make a video and a post like once a week, almost like once a week, every week, re-explaining, reassuring people, We did a funny one. Last week it was funny. We were actually Q said something like goes, hey, I heard that the internet police are after you. I go, what'd I do? He's like, you're in another band called StillWell, and that's not okay. He goes, but it's okay for Corey Taylor to be in 15 bands and Dave Grohl to be in 20 bands. And then we started naming all that, and he goes, but for apparently, I go, am I going to get a ticket? And then we made this big stupid skit, and talking about all that. Right. Jonathan Davis has 3 different bands. Monkey has a solo band. Head has another band, and Head made a movie. are they getting tickets? No, apparently you're in trouble. I'm like, oh man. And I was we're all playing all stupid. It's like people get confused. It's like, you know.
Well,
So
I've tried to make it where, you know, for me, I don't much like the side of the brain that does the business as much, because there's an internal war with me, which is a balance. It's like, does the art need the business, or does the business need the art? And
right.
if the art is really booming, the business likes to say it's their doing. And if the art isn't booming, then the artist might, you know, blame it on the business. So it's like left and right brain working together. But I always have a hard time with it, because it's like, you know, the world imprints everybody with a band like Korn, you know, and everyone falls in love. Everyone pays homage. Everybody's a fan. Then people like yourself, you go through the system, you learn, you tour, you learn so much. You learn how to record, you learn how to get through isolation on the road. You do everything. You play the same songs, the same sets. You do everything, but you learn so much. I think this is what fans don't understand, is as individuals, going out and doing what you're doing with the band that you're most known for, me being Slipknot, you learn so much about yourself and about the business and about the art that you do capture some realities for yourself as an artist. And those that really love art like to be proactive and stay busy. And then
right.
fans, sometimes fans, most times, just get very confused. But my problem is, besides the confusion, it's the brainwashed attitude that I'm trying to do away with. It's the immediate reaction that when they hear you're doing something, that their brains go right to Korn and right to what they think you need to be doing. And I'm trying to break that, because any of us in this world are always looking to better our situations. It could be spiritual. It could be mental. It could be physical. It could be alone time. But we're all trying. But when artists of high caliber break away, it seems to be almost to a point where people just can't understand. And I feel like that's some sort of regimen of brainwashing that just has to be reversed somehow. You know what I mean? And I don't know if it's the business that does it, but I like to spend a lot of time trying to talk about these things so fans get a little more insight on the color in your heart of why you do it. I think sometimes they think maybe you're not getting along with Korn. Maybe you're over it. All these things, so they want to be hard and focus you in on that. So I like to try and focus on, you know, tell us a little bit, you know, why these two gentlemen that you're, you know, I think a good place to start is with, why did you choose the two gentlemen you chose to jam with? Why is there a relationship there? You know, if we start with relationships, maybe people can understand a little bit more.
Yeah, they can. I mean, that's it. It starts out. I mean, for us, it's different because it started as a relationship and then turned into a band later. So a lot of times it's a band and then a relationship. And a lot of times those situations don't work out unless relationships develop. But because we were friends before, it kind of developed a brotherhood kind of thing, which, you know, the brothers get in fights too. And just because of, say, we're brothers and Korn's brothers from other mothers, if we all got in a fight and something was to happen and we had to take a little time out, sometimes you got to take out from your real brother a time out. You know, there's times that I know siblings don't talk for a year. And it's like, that's just, but you're going to talk again. It's your brother. So it's like, yeah, that's a difference with us. It's like, it's a brotherly thing, but, you know, that's all I can say is that our secrets of us, of 23 years of what we've been doing, is it's kind of like a brother, you know, we're brothers, man. And Not that it could not. Sometimes I know people that never talk to their brother again. It's been like 25 years, but we try to press on and get through that. And, hopefully we've been through all the rough patches. I think we've been through the good, the bad, the ugly, and the uglier already. But there's probably one left, the ugliest. It's probably around the corner waiting. But, we'll have to face that when we get there. But we just try to have fun when we get together. Like, we're getting together right now in about, an hour and shoot a video and try to have a good time. We try to laugh and have fun. And then anytime we connect, we're ready. Like, it's just showing up and doing the best you can do. That's what we do.
Well, you've been doing it for a long time now. I mean, I think you said it right. Bands become family. You don't start off as family. I can remember when we started, there was a lot of big gulps and rappers from McDonald's and Taco Bell and practicing and me screaming at people about not throwing their shit away. And, it starts as a bunch of friends. But then like you said, it develops into an ultimate family, and you become blood, and you do go through just about anything. You go through money, drugs, alcohol, probably chicks. Then there's ego, the biggest thing of all. You gotta go through all these things, and that's what I'm saying. You go through these things. You make some friends, and you meet people that see like you do or kind of like you are, and then you go ahead and you make music because that's what you do and that's what you love. I think people forget that people like ourselves are always creating because we were born to create.
Yeah, that's it.
So what you're on? You guys are putting out your second album. Is it out now? I think it's out now, right?
We did well. We happened to finish off the Nothing, which was the last Korn album, and we just finished the Break and Bend tour, and then this whole COVID thing busted out. But we got to finish our last date, and then everything shut down, so we got to continue. But we didn't get a proper, tour on it. So it kind of got, I don't know if what we're doing right now, like say, for example, today we're going to shoot for this video game, World of Tanks, and we're shooting for one of the songs off the Nothing, which is still the last Korn album that we did, that we never really properly got to give it a full tour. It never even took it to anywhere. Like, it's like a 2-year cycle when you tour on something. So it is what it is. I'm 50 years old. I've never had to face anything like this in my life. So it's like, we kind of just press on, go, okay, you want to shoot for a video game, and whatever comes our way, you got to kind of be open to what's new, what's next, because there's some tours lined up, but they sound wishy-washy to me, so I'm not going to sit around and wait on it. That's why I'm doing my, StillWell, and we're promoting this one, and already shot, 4 videos, and I bought a whole green screen setup in my living room. I got 30-foot ceilings, green screen, everything. I mean, just on a daily doing stuff. And, people are like, what are you doing? Well, I'm not going to sit around. I'm waiting for Korn. When they're ready, I'm rock ready. But right now it's like, I got nothing to do. So we're still creating, making music and doing projects. And, who knows? Just pressing on and being creative and having fun.
It's such a crazy time. I've been telling people that I just turned 51, and I've been blessed, to the point of a life that I've lived with my thoughts. I've never been drafted. I've never done with COVID. Like all these things are just insane. The world is such a different place. And I've never, like you said, I've never experienced this. So it's a very odd thing. I personally am taking the time for much mental rest. I'm just kind of like, I'm just checking out. Like I'm trying to alleviate myself of almost all art and almost everything to take a real good, fresh, deep breath and, change my perspective for the rest of the world for when it comes and it hits. We have tours lined up. Every time something gets canceled, we line it right back up. And, there's no guarantees. We're not getting any sort of confirmation that anything could be real. So I guess it is really good to stay busy. I like to hear that, most artists are staying busy one way or another. It gets a little frustrating, though, to me when some artists, it seems like their ego is getting the better of them and they just got to go be immediately during all this. And it's not that it seems rude. It just doesn't seem real. It seems like some people are jumping on it because they just can't handle not doing anything. And I think that's transparent. I think that you can see that it's not real. You know what I mean? But I think it's important for people to know, like people like ourselves, we do things and have done things on the side to help us keep feeling human and feeling what we do, which is create music. So tell me a little bit why you chose the guys you did at StillWell. I mean, when did you meet the drummer? Were you guys on tour together?
We actually met. I met through this clothing company called Tribal here in San Diego, and I was friends with the owner, and he's all, he knew this guy in Brooklyn that was a rapper at the time. He's like, I want you guys to do a song together. I think it'd be you guys would click. I'm like, all right. So we flew him out, and we did like a rap song together, and then we started building and talking. And I'm realizing that he's an underground rapper, Q Unique. He's done a bunch of stuff that all over the world, and he was in another band, the Arsonists. And then I find out that he's really just into music, period, and finding out that he plays everything and he sings, and also. I'm like, well, that's when we got into finding what's still 16 years later. I knew Love from POD. I've known him. He's an hour from my house, and he's always one of my favorite drummers. And got him, and it took 16 years, I think, to this new StillWell Supernatural Miracles, the name of the album, to find who we really are. And it's Q is a singer at heart. More than he is, but it comes all based on a rap and R&B undertone that comes out naturally, but sounds like a rock record. And I compare us more to, like, if you listen to it, you'd say influenced by Queens of the Stone Age, Foo Fighters, to who else, man? The Soundgarden, to all those type of just bands. It's more like it's even like some Oasis in there. It's like a rock record, It's just, but with all I've learned that you put a rock record together, the best part to me are all the bells and whistles, the tricks, transitions between songs, and I think we put out something that we're pretty happy with, and the numbers are doing well, and we're putting out a figurine, little like I don't know what you want to call it, almost like a solid toy, but like a thick, legit one. It's going to be, it's our mascot, kind of like Eddie has Iron Maiden, we have Peter, and so it's like we're pushing that, and we have merchandise, and just we're doing like live skits every day on Instagram, on YouTube, and every single day for like probably 2 months straight. So we're kind of looking, this could turn into us, the Q and I having a YouTube channel, for all I know, and we have subscribers, and bring that on the road, even better, because he's been on tour with KORN for 16 years with me. So it's like we kind of just keep going. I don't know what it's going to turn into, because myself, like, I'm not. People are like, are you a bass player? Yeah, but I don't consider myself that. I'm not even an artist. I'm artsy. Like, when I'm not doing that, I'm painting. I'm artsy, man. I'm an oddball. That's all it is. Like, so it doesn't matter what I do. I don't care if I end up being a YouTube sensation. I don't care. You know, as long as it's done with the integrity and everybody's cool, and that if somebody in my band doesn't like it, then you pull back. You know, it's like, okay, we don't want that representing or hurting our brand or our band. So we're always careful. And the world doesn't understand that. They think we just free for all go do what we want. We don't check in with our brothers. It's like, no, we make sure that everybody's supporting us and we're all cool with it. It's not like we're going to go out, I'm going to go become a Backstreet Boy or something. Nothing against the Backstreet Boys, but I don't know if that'd be good for our brand, you know?
Don't you think it's did you ever think you're going to be in a position where you might have a brand in your life that's so big that all the decisions you make in your personal life outside the brand might affect the brand? Did you ever think about that 20 years ago, 25 years ago when you got started?
I mean, regardless, if, let's say, for example, it's just for like a, you know, fairy tale talk that what we're heading on to doing these skits, and let's say we become, these YouTubers are driving Lambos and this and that. It's not like we're doing it for the money because I've already had everything I wanted. You're just trying to do another successful thing. That's kind of like building the Legos and then tearing them down and starting back over again. That's what guys like to do. So if we became this massive thing that was, you know, become billionaires, right? And it's, I'm just fairy tale talking. What about KORN? These billionaires are going to tour with KORN, and we're going to do our YouTube channels on KORN and go have fun. And then I'm going to go rock out with KORN for an hour. It's not hard. Why not? You know, it's not going to stop anything. It's you just bring your studio on the road. It's easy. We've been bringing our studio on the road for 16 years. It's an easy setup. It's easy to, you know, it's actually fun because then you get, I get a free travel out of it. I'm going to get paid. So it's like, you know, I don't think it would ever really change much of anything. But, you know, maybe if, you know, obviously if we became this $1 billion corporation, when we're done at the end of the night, I'd be taking my private jet to the hotel instead of taking the tour bus. That's the only difference. Still be doing the rock shows, but, you know, it's easy. They're easy, man. Hour and a half, go rock out. So, you know, I think we're always
live?
I mean, I like playing live still. The hardest part is the waiting and the traveling. But the playing part, it's pretty easy. It's the easiest job in the world. But everything that comes along with it as you get older, you don't sleep on the buses. You know, you have a lot of downtime. You have a lot of alone time in hotels. And so that's the hardest part. But yeah, the playing part is, I couldn't ask for an easier job. It's you know, if you're meant to be on stage, you just know it. It shouldn't be hard for you. You know, if it is, you're in the wrong business. It's like, this is so hard, I can barely do this show. It's like, well, you're probably not meant to be on stage then.
Yeah, there's a lot of... I had a hard time with the isolation. You know, I have a family. I've been married for 30 years, 4 kids, and I didn't have anybody helping me with the isolation. You know, with you know, being in France on a Sunday in the middle of fucking nowhere with no long-distance carriers, with no internet, with no room service. You roll in at 10 o'clock at night. Everything's closed down. You're in some weird little town, and you just played 90,000 people, and now you're stuck in this little shitty room, and the walls are talking to you. You know, it took me a long time to be able to meditate through that, to get through the isolation. I don't think a lot of people know just how, you know, you go from everybody talking to you to no talking at all in the same day, every day of the week for 3 months.
Yeah.
And it can be very painful. And, you know, the drugs creep in, the alcohol creeps in. Some people, it's the women or what have you, whatever it is, whatever the relationship preference is. And all that stuff can really make people like us have a hard time with what we love most, which is, you know, for me, it's God music. So I'll do anything to be able to do it. But I agree with you. I was born to be on stage. So I know that most of the day is pure hell for me to get that hour and a half of God, but
Yeah.
sometimes what comes with it can be very difficult because, there's cities in the United States and cities in the world that I just can't be in anymore. I mean, I drive in and I'm like, my psychosis of my brain changes, and I have to use a lot of coping skills to get through the anxiety and things like this. It's not everywhere, but I have some places that trigger me. Could be past events or what have you, but it can be difficult to be out on the road.
Yeah, it's hard. You're right. It's hard. There's so much downtime. People have no idea. People ask me all the time. It's like, but you after many years, I've figured out on my downtime. That's why I bring Q is on our downtime. I'll be like, come over to his room. He'll come to my room. We set up a little shop and we make music. Or sometimes that's the last tour. We painted and made music, did paintings, and staying busy creatively because there's nothing out there. When I go walk around and go look at the city, I'm like, I've done it for 25 years. There's nothing out there. So I figured out a way that's working for me for now. Now, things change all the time, but for the last at least 10 years, it's been working well to keep us busy from going insane in my hotel room with nothing to do. Because I'm the same as you. I have 5 kids, and I'm used to being around a lot of life. And then you go from a lot of life backstage, you do a show, boom, 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 then you're back at your hotel. Then you have 2 days off, and you walk out of your room, and half your band shaves off their nipples. It's like you go.
Exactly. Just something completely random and insane can just spin you the fuck out on the road. Just like, what happened? What just went?
Oh yeah. How many times have you seen after 2 days? 2 days you come, everyone meets in the lobby. You're like, oh, you just got boxed up. That's a nice goatee you got now. It's all square and nice, and got their Just for Men on, and their hair's a little shorter, and fresh tattoos. It's like everybody comes out, because you're in there for 2 days, bored out of your mind, looking in the mirror, picking at your face, and did you get your eyebrows done? Yeah, something's got to give.
Something's got to happen in those 4 walls. I mean,
yeah,
it's true. We finally, there's a lot of us, man. There's a lot of fucking people in the knot world. So last album, Point 5, The Great Chapter, we started getting that gear. But, without getting into it, I wouldn't say that the entire family was put together in a way to get the entire dream. There maybe were still a lot of people around that should have been around that weren't helping evolve where we need to be, which is be a lot happier out on the road. But we got that recording thing down now too. We get a room. We get a room in the hotel, and we have gentlemen that work for the band that haul up a bunch of gear. And then at any time, everybody's got a key to go in there. And at any one time, there's people in there. We drink coffee, we hang out, we watch movies, we laugh. And then, when you need to get away, you can go to your room. But the recording bit has immensely helped us. Like right now, I'm at home, and like I said, I'm taking a well-needed. I've just had things in my life in like the last 3-4 years that I haven't been able to get with mentally in order to put my best foot forward. So I'm trying to spiritually align myself, but I'm working on new Slipknot music, and it's all stuff that I worked out on the road. I got a couple dozen pieces that we would put together, over 6 months, and we just let it collect. And then when I come home and have ample time, I can bring someone in to engineer it in my studio in the basement and take my time. I don't have to push. I don't have to really demand it to be somewhere. I can just do my end of it, get it to where I think it needs to be, get it to someone like Jim Root, who is, in Jacksonville. And then, he can pick it up and massage it the way he wants it, or completely change it, rearrange it, do anything he wants. So I'm with you on that recording out on the road. It's really made life, because it's what we do. Music is what I am supposed to do in this life. So whether it's with Slipknot or with you or with other people, it's all sort of the same thing to get to the same place. You know what I mean? Wouldn't you agree?
That you have to do.
Yeah, you gotta continuously do what you have to do. So I think it's funny. It's definitely funny what the road can do to everybody. You know, especially the tattoos. Like you said, everybody just gets tatted, and then pretty soon you're like, you kind of get over tats. You know, you're like, well, that's what I do on my time off, and I want to do something else on my time off. So you guys plan on doing any shows, StillWell? I mean, as far as like live stream or in your house or anything in public with distancing, or you got anything planned that way?
We're all doing right now. We're focused on like with StillWell, with like anywhere from live streaming to social media to reaching the world the way the world's watching right now. That's how everybody's watching until some real deals happen. But as of now, we're not going to wait around. So we're pressing on every day. Like 2 days ago, I think, like I said, we shot like 2 videos, a lyric video, interviews. All like we crammed in one day, more in one day than ever. You know, just because when you don't have nothing to do and you're just trapped at home. Like, what else are we gonna do? We even squeezed in a barbecue. You know, it's like just hanging out, just having a good time. There's no pressure from managers going, hurry, you got to finish this, you got to tour, hurry. It's like, so we're just having a good time creating. So it's actually turning out, everything we're doing is turning out better than ever. You know, it's because there's no pressure from anybody. So yeah, we're just staying busy. We're just trying to. The world needs an upgrade, and I think especially in the social media world, that can be used huge. No one knows how to use it, so we're really studying this right now. Like, it's almost like we're at social media Bible college. You know what I'm saying? Like, learning how to really work that, and that's a way to reach people. And if the world comes back to normal, we can bring that whole crap on tour and keep on going with it. It'll just be a free ride.
Well, the world's gonna get back. I've seen it, man. I've seen you guys on stage. I've seen fans crying because we're back, and we can share our lives together. It's all gonna come around. I mean, it cannot not. I mean, there are still things in the world that kill people more than COVID.
Oh yeah.
But you know, COVID's one of those things that we don't necessarily have the ability to treat at the caliber that we do other things. So soon, at one point, we're going to have the ability to treat COVID regularly, like we do the flu, like we do tuberculosis, like we do anything. And that's a big thing, is the ability to get the amount of people that are getting sick and being able to house them and not cure, but give them medical relief, as it were the flu. But I know that the world's going to come back around. It does lend to a lot of bizarre questions of what the fuck is really going on. But music will prevail, because without the vibration of music, the world, it just isn't going to be the same. So I don't think there's any keeping us. I like what you said, though. I like that. I like that in 2020, someone says none of us know how to really use the internet yet. Do you really believe that? Do you believe that everyone is still trying to, I mean, with people like Zuckerberg, who owns Facebook and buys, you know, Instagram, and pretty much buys up anything worth a shit to control, do you still feel that we're still at the very beginning of the internet?
Yeah, especially for, you know, us in our age. But when you got kids like ourselves, where I got, you know, a 8-year-old, a 10-year-old, a 13-year-old, and they're showing you this and this and this, you're like, oh, they're showing you different platforms. Of each one has a link in bio, then the link in post, and each platform has its own level and how do you reach all these people? It's still a way to reach people so they can all hear the music. It's like if you can't just, if you're an Instagram person, you're only watching Instagram. I only have Instagram. If you're a YouTuber, my kids are all YouTubers. They only watch YouTube. That's it. So each person kind of tends to be creatures of habit. They don't go scrolling through all of them. There's a small percent, but you got to kind of hit them all and figure out where the heaviest traffic is and how do you get subscribers. And that's the way. It's getting people to join the club. It's like once you got that, you have a fan base that's already yours. You don't have to, and then you can go play all the shows you want. You're like, I got 100,000 or 1 million subscribers that are real fans. They're not just people scrolling through checking you out. They're actually real fans, because if my numbers are right with Korn, then when we put a record out, we would be selling multi-millions of records because we have double-digit millions of people viewing our videos. Where are you guys all at when we put a record out? It's like, it's just people thumbing through. They're not real fans. If they were, they would subscribe and pay a monthly to be a part of our membership of our gym, if you will. But it's an insane world. It comes. I only just graze it because I'm just more mental with it. I want to have more of a cult, I guess, than I would want the gym, so to speak. But the same thing. So I get mental and I stay away from the internet because to me, it's so dangerous. I feel like the whole damn thing. It could be good and bad. You got to be careful.
Yeah, I feel like for me, I feel like the whole internet is the dark web. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know what the dark web is.
You got to be careful. That's why it's a distraction.
Yeah,
that's what it is. You get stuck into that dark web of the distraction. You got to stay away. Okay, let's go back, focus on what we're doing, because you're gonna get distracted and all that crap. And if you stay focused, you can use it for good. But you got to stay focused because it's easy to get lost up into that. That's why you have to. Like I have Q, we have accountability going, hey, that has nothing to do with what we're doing over here. So let's get back to work, because there's so much crap. There's so much crap out there.
One thing I really like is right now, I'm not the most
Hold on a minute,
human. Okay.
Hold on. I'm pulling it. I got it like it says. Hey guys, right there. 14th floor on this parking garage. The trailer downstairs, elevator to the top. I'll be on site 8 a.m. Everyone expect details once you find on it. Yeah, so let's go out. Somebody over there. Just pull by the train. I'm pulling up this shoot, so I'm trying to figure out, it's like all crazy, 14th floor, this and that. I think we're doing a photo shoot on some heliport, whatever crap you call that. But
that's always some BS. Well, listen, I won't keep you. You have fun today, but real quick, I want to congratulate you on your new album and the stuff you're doing with StillWell. I'm sure everybody's gonna love that. Just real quick, how's all the brothers doing in Korn? How's everybody doing?
About the same. About 15 minutes, man. We're doing good. We've still been in touch. You got to stay connected, even though we're apart. But we got to stay connected, and we're doing something tomorrow too. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about it because it's tomorrow, but because sometimes I'm not sure, so I don't want to be the one that runs my mouth and like, you said what? And it's out everywhere. So it's like, I'm meeting up tomorrow. And we're doing some more stuff, and we have been doing some stuff that I can't really talk about. But we're definitely staying active and being kind of hush at the same time. So
Well, that's good. Art always needs the snobby, hidden agenda. That's what makes it exciting for everyone. The tension. So that's okay. make sure you give everybody my love, man. I miss everybody. I haven't seen you guys in a long, long, long time. And, just make sure you tell everybody for me, hello from the clown. And
I will.
And I wanted to let you know, man, I bump your guys' new album once a week. I really, really, really like it. There's a lot of pain in there, and I generally motivate towards pain. Generally, I feel bad that there's pain in the world, but it generally sets me aside to where I can focus. So I really love the new album, and I play a lot while I'm doing work and stuff. So I think it's amazing. And man, have fun today. With the Electric Theater, I'm just getting on the phone with people whenever. So this won't be the last time we talk. We'll just kind of get on the phone to catch up and try to take where we've started somewhere else. Whatever we didn't get to today, we'll take somewhere else next time.
I'm down with it, man. It was good talking to you.
It was good talking to you, man. I'm glad that you're above water, staying busy, and just moving forward in this crazy times. But again, have fun today. And tell everybody I said hello, and hopefully we all get to see each other real soon and rock out.
Cool, man. All right, man. You have a good day, too.
All right, man. Peace. Be good, Billy.
All right, later.